This man is old enough to be her father and her grandfather. Okay. And he makes me sick. And I hope, please, take him for everything he got, but his accent. Take him for everything he got. He deserves it. Because
this dating thing. Because it's Mo is different now than when you and I.
It's different, baby. I'm grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
Are you trying to say what you trying to say?
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl.
I know.
This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You're trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. Dang. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's going to say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's going to get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was going to be scared. Yes, I'm talking. And I know old gal should be good to you.
All right. So the chickens have come
apple butters.
Okay.
No, not the name. What you say her name? Eldora?
Yeah. He didn't listen. He didn't listen. A bombshell lawsuit has been filed accusing Shannon Sharpe of sexual abuse, sending shockwaves through the world of sports and media. Shannon Sharpe, he's a former NFL star and current ESPN commentator, is facing a $50 million lawsuit, civil lawsuit, filed in Nevada by a woman identified as Gabriella Zuniga. We have a photo of her, photo 1. The lawsuit alleges that during their nearly 2-year relationship, Sharpe engaged in multiple instances of sexual assault, including the R word. This is what he's accusing her of, and recorded intimate encounters without her consent. This is her. Zuniga, or Gabriella Zuniga, claims that Sharpe's behavior was controlling and abusive, citing incidents where he allegedly threatened her and refused to respect her boundaries. Sharpe has vehemently denied the allegations, labeling the lawsuit a shakedown. This is her. Now, when they first met, she was 19 years old. She is now, I believe, 20 or 21. Before we really get into this, I want to put out Shannon's response, because he has responded to this stuff. Here is clip 3. Take a look.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself, because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Buzbee want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
All right. So he was saying that this is a shakedown. Now, it's so much a shakedown. His attorney, Lanny Davis, stated that Sharpe actually offered Gabby, as he calls her, the OnlyFans prostitute, $10 million settlement during mediation. So before she came forward to the public, Sharpe offered her a $10 million settlement which she declined. I guess she said, and this is not enough. So here we are.
There's so much going on. It's hard to tell. And truth be told, he's a grown man, a couple of times a grown man. And she was on OnlyFans as a grown person doing grown lady things. And I think their relationship was very much give and take. But my takeaway from this is just two very simple things. One, and this may sound racist to some people, so follow me into the rabbit hole. Black folk, we got to stop talking to people who are not Black like they're Black. Really? Because in one of the tapes, he tells her, you keep it up, I'm going to choke this out of you, right? Now, as Black people, we've heard this over and over again. This is a part of some vernacular when people get angry. I could choke the shit out of that person, blah, blah, blah. It's not that he was planning to literally choke the stuffing out of her. And she well knew that, because this ain't the first Black guy that she's hooked up with. Probably won't be the last, but no shame. I don't kink shame people. Whatever her thing is, let it be.
No.
Yeah.
He meant to choke. He was going to choke her. She likes that. We saw it play. The news has said that she liked to be choked. She liked rough kink.
She liked a lot. She wanted a dog collar.
Yeah,
she wanted to be.
He probably was going to choke her, but I don't think she did. I think she actually liked. I think they were doing some type of role play or whatever.
But that's what they're saying now. But KJ, when that first broke, people were like, he was planning to choke her. We can't say everything to everybody. Let's just take a look back at this. And I hate to even bring it up, this Carmelo Anthony case, when he was telling the young man, touch me and see what happens to you. And we say that, Black people say that all the time. Other cultures don't interpret it the way that we mean it. Not saying that it wasn't a threat. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that's a warning. That's a warning shot. That's not the last salvo, but that's the first salvo. There's usually some hand claps after that and some bucking and carrying on. But you got to stop assuming that people understand what you mean when you use vernacular that's just made for us. Because what's happening to Shannon is she's taking all of these text messages and all of these things that he said to her, and now he's turning it into this very liberal media, and they're making big deals out of things that seem pretty much commonplace between two freaky people who are having an adult relationship.
As they should.
Exactly.
If he said it to a white girl, then he felt like if it was a situation where he felt like I only can say this stuff, but he said it to a white girl, so we're gonna take it how he said it. I feel that way. If he, I don't agree with that at all.
I'll tell you now, KJ, this language barrier is going to be the death of these men. It is absolutely going to be the death of these men. Here's another situation. Even when Jay-Z was going through it when Tony Busby was chasing after him, he had that same situation. Language counts, folks. You have to be careful what you say to people, because certain people are going to use it against you. You got a girlfriend from 19 years old at OnlyFans that you met at a gym. He met her at the gym. This man has enough money that he could fly around the world and find him a side piece that's willing to do whatever he likes done to him for pennies on a dollar.
Well, this is the issue. This is the issue.
Why put yourself in harm's way? My second point, he played professional football, and this is a very serious point. And Shelly, I'm sure you'll have some information about this too. These are men who've gotten hit in the head a lot, and their older age years. Hear me out, KJ. Their older age years, they're going to need specialty care. They're going to be demented. They're going to have problems and issues and whatnot. Why
you try real hard?
I'm trying to stomp for my boy. I'm trying
Oh no!
I'm not mad at you. I ain't mad at you, but I know you trying.
I'm trying to stomp for my boy, because the long and the short of it is these are two freaky people who are having what probably happens in Hollywood a lot, a bickering argument. He offered her 10. She probably would have took it, except for he's about to sign a bigger contract for that show of his, is she wants more money. And here we sit. Now everybody's dropping text messages and little snippets of videos, and he's talking to his mom and them and people like me. And I'm going, come on, Shannon. Come on. Bro.
So Shelly, what are your thoughts on what we've heard so far?
Look, this is what I'm going to say. When I thought about this, if you're going to be an OnlyFans, whatever you want to call it, you call it a prostitute, a worker, be an OnlyFans worker. I'll say she should have got paid along the way. She shouldn't have to wait this long to get her
Well,
50
she
million.
probably was getting
Probably
paid.
did get
I'm
paid.
just saying, she should have gotten paid for whatever services she provided along the way. That's number one. Now, he said he was going to choke her. She was going to choke the chicken. Whatever. I don't know. But I mean, this is just crazy. I don't know if he actually raped her or not. Allegedly, these are all allegations, right? I do believe that this is a shakedown. I do. I really believe
He
that
deserves it.
the attorney, Busby, I think his name is. He's gone after so many people. He's like a what do we used to call him? Ambulance chaser.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me of that. And he also reminds me a little bit of, I think it's Michael Cohen, who was Stormy whatever her name is, Stormy's attorney. And he kept going back and forth after Trump. Look, these are two adults. Sure, she was a young woman or 20-year-old, 19, whatever. But Monique gave him some good advice. Yes. Did he take it? No. Okay, whatever. But I'll say, if you're gonna be an OnlyFans, be one. Just get paid along the way.
Well, first of all, no one said she wasn't. I'm sure she was. He was not with her for her mind. As we can see in the audio, this woman speaks like a child. Take a look. This is clip 4 audio.
Well, what, Gabby?
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you do what you did to me.
Okay, well...
Well, what?
This man makes me sick. They both make me sick. But this old grandpa, this man is old enough to be her father and her grandfather, okay? And he makes me sick. And I hope, please, take him for everything he got, but his accent. Take him for everything he got. He deserves it because he knew this is what happens when you deal, and I'm taking it Christian conservative, you deal outside your covenant, number one. And number two, you deal in this type of situation. You deal with this type of kink and all of this type of stuff outside of your covenant. If you want to be a freak with your wife or your husband or whatever, be that. But this man chose this 19-year-old because he knew that she would do and say whatever he wanted her to say. And he should really be embarrassed and publicly shamed. Both of them should. But you lay down with dogs, you come up with fleas. And so when he chose to mess with this type of OnlyFans whore, then this is what he's gonna get. He probably was paying her all along.
Not
and
enough.
then he got the shit. She said what he was doing wasn't enough. She asked for more. He didn't want to give what she asked for. Now she say, I'm going to go public. She wants to go for the gusto. And I hope she gets every penny.
Yeah. It's interesting. I'm looking at the chat, and it's interesting. Just from what I can see on a cursory level, it seems that more of the women are against her, and more of the men are taking Shannon's side to some degree. It's interesting how that breakdown goes. Look, I'm with you to a degree. I don't know. Again, I'm not gonna say he raped her. I'm not saying that's those are allegations. Right. I'm saying she may have gotten paid. I'm saying she should have gotten more. And they do. He sounds stupid. She sounds drugged. It's just all over the place. Whatever. Again, I don't know about the if he meant the literal choking. Maybe he did. Maybe it was kinky stuff. But these are the kind of things that used to not be in public. Even if you were doing whatever, if you were doing wrong or like you whatever, you didn't put this out in the public. You handled your business. So I don't even have a problem with him settling. That happens all the time. It's just stupid to me. Again, like I said, whatever. She should have gotten more along the way, and then maybe she would have just quietly left him alone. But I think he did put himself in this position.
He absolutely put himself in this position.
I can't say she should have gotten more because I personally don't agree with selling yourself to someone for sex. I just don't agree with it.
That doesn't mean she shouldn't have gotten more.
Well, I think she shouldn't have gotten anything. I think she, she's whatever amount that she got or didn't get. To me, it's not worth it. It's not enough because your body is not for sale. But again, you mentioned something about how guys you on his side and women seem like they're on her side in the chat. Stephen A. Smith came out and talked about it, and I was really surprised because they are co-anchors on ESPN. I want to get your thoughts on this, Nicole. When we play this is clip 5.
Let me be very, very clear about where I'm coming from. I'm a bit torn in terms of his response. On one hand, Tony Busby has sued Jay-Z. He did sue Diddy. He did accuse them or represented the woman who was accusing them of assault, of sexual assault, and said that she was 13 years of age at the time when talking about Jay-Z and Diddy, and Jay-Z went ballistic and emphatically denied it, wouldn't let it go. The case was dropped, and now he's suing Busby, mentioning words like extortion and other things. So when she, who obviously should be presumed innocent, not just because you should be presumed innocent until found guilty, but because of the manner in which he fought on his own behalf and has been very aggressive in going after Tony Busby. In the case of P. Diddy, you don't know what to believe. Again, the case against Jay-Z was a civil suit. Diddy was a civil suit. But in Diddy, you don't know what to believe because of all the allegations he's facing. But we can't forget that Tony Busby was also the person that represented at least 24 of the 27 women that accused Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct along with other allegations. And at least 23 of those cases were settled. So we have an obligation to mention that.
Absolutely. And Nicole, before I get you in on this is not the first time Shannon has faced such allegations. In 2010, a woman named Michelle Bundy filed a restraining order against him, accusing him of sexual assault and threats. The restraining order was later dismissed and no charges were filed. So we want to put that out there just to get everything out. But what are your thoughts on what Stephen A. Smith said?
I think Stephen A. Kind of laid out the history of this particular attorney and what Shelley was saying. He's an ambulance chaser of sorts. I guess you would call him a hoe chaser because he takes these men and says, oh, you were with Diddy. Let me help you with this lawsuit. It is sure easy money, though. I'll give him that. At least it's smart because these celebrities are going to pay just to keep it quiet. This $10 million that she could have walked away with was for her to keep her mouth shut. The bigger question, and I'm sure we'll probably get around to it eventually, is how many other women have been paid their $10 million? Because you know what's going to happen. If any kind of inkling that people get that this woman's going to get anywhere near that $50 million, everybody and their mother's going to come out of the woodwork and said, well, he did this to me, he did that to me. It's a slippery slope. And this is why this type of behavior, I just don't quite understand why you would risk everything for some girl sticking her fist up her butt on the internet. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I'll tell you why, Nicole. I'll tell you why. This is what I was going to say. So I think it was Kobe Bryant who said many years ago, he talked about how when you are a celebrity and you get to a certain level of celebrity, there is nothing really that you can't have as far as sexual, as far as, women. he used to say how they would go into cities and women would be lined up at their hotels waiting for them. And it's any and everything you want, you can have. And so what happens is with many of these men, they get to a point where the money, the influence, you can have whatever you want and you get bored. You get tired. And then a lot of times this is why so many of them turn DL, because they have had so many types of freaky situations. Anytime women will do any and everything they ask or want, anything you can think of. The access is numerous and enormous. And
Right.
so they will do whatever and anything. And so then it's always, what else can I do? What else can I see? What else can we do? And so this is why this type of lifestyle is sort of on the demonic side, because it is catering to the flesh. And this is why it goes against the design God has for our lives, because it breeds chaos. This is not what we were meant to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But to Kobe, God rest his soul, Kobe. This is not new. Kobe was Kobe was saying this is nothing new. Not to say any celebrity. That's number one. But even on equal grounds with Kobe, President Trump told us that hey, you can just whatever he said, touch the pussy or whatever he said, whatever the whatever the so this is nothing new. I'm not co-signing it. I'm not disagreeing with it. All I'm saying is that
you said she should have paid. She should have gotten more money.
If that was her job, she should have gotten paid more. Then maybe she wouldn't have to be suing with this ambulance chase. That's what I'm saying.
Sued anyway. This is the point of what I was saying. This type of lifestyle. That was my point. I get it. More.
Get it. That was my point. My point was, I'm saying from an economic perspective, that was my point. I get that. All in all, again, I'm not necessarily going to, I don't know, I think Stephen A. Smith was, I guess I'm going to say balanced, if that's the right word. I'm not necessarily going to wish for Shannon to be shook down any more than I'm going to wish for this woman to be tarred and feathered with a scarlet letter. I'm not going to do either. These are allegations.
Shook down the equivalent of tarred and feathered?
I say I'm not going to wish for Shannon Sharpe to be shook down any more than I'm going to wish for this woman to be tarred and feathered. I'm not.
What about consequence?
I'm not going to say.
What about consequence?
What about what?
What are the consequences?
What are the consequences? They're going to play out. They're going to play out legally, maybe personally.
You believe that there should be no consequence for this type of behavior?
What consequence should it be for them? They will face their own consequences. There's no legal consequence, or what is it?
Right now we see that the legal consequence is she is suing him, and he may have to pay.
That's one of the consequences. They're living out their consequences. There's nothing else that I can add to it. From a moral perspective, again, I don't have the tar and feather. I don't have the scarlet letter. What more? Right. Their consequences are playing out. I'm not going to stand on a moral high ground and say, I wish more, beat them, whatever. No, they're going to play out legally and personally, whatever that may be.
Right. I agree. I mean, nobody, I don't want anybody to be, I never said I want anybody to be beaten or anything like that. But, I mean, if he has to pay, then he'll have to pay.
The truth be told, and this might be a hot take, this is working out pretty good for both of them. Let's just call it what it is. Now everybody's talking about Club Shay Shay. Now everybody's talking about Shannon Sharpe. And this girl, Gabby, her OnlyFans is off the chart. She's making more money than she's ever made. This may be a boon for both of them. The problem is that, again, it may just be the beginning. It may not be just a one-off. This may be the beginning of Shannon Gate, like we had Diddy Gate.